Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So, we had a huge meeting Wednesday night, board meeting, 4 hours. That's like back in the day type of meeting. Very long, but sort of productive. Well, I'll tell you. Okay, we did some announcements. We have a coastal erosion public forum coming up on Monday the 12th at 4 o'clock, 4 to 6, at the training room. That's on the 2nd floor at the 4 Fairgrounds Road Public Safety Facility. There is some information about it on the town website, and I suggest if you're interested, go check it out, what we're talking about, and go to the forum if you wish. You can also submit public comment, written comment, until January 6th, and the board will be having a hearing on the adoption of a coastal erosion plan or principles. Haven't decided quite exactly what the title is going to be at the end of January 18th, I think. There's been a change in landfill billing, or there will be a change in landfill billing payment due dates. Effective January 1st, 2012, if you are out at the landfill, you go over the scales and you get a bill, you will have to pay it within 60 days, not 90. 60 is much more an industry standard than 90. Public comment, we didn't have any. New business, we didn't have any. Oh, I can't believe I didn't say this right off the bat. We had a terrific presentation, visit, acknowledgement of the Nantucket Whaler football team who won the Super Bowl over Stroll weekend. Pretty much, I think the entire team was there, the coach, the superintendent, the high school principal, and Erica Mooney, my executive assistant, did a really neat slideshow of the game itself. So that was great. They brought their trophy in, and the captains said a little bit, and it was awesome. They got a standing ovation too. It was great. So that was an exciting thing that happened at the beginning of the agenda. We also had a presentation from a member of the Barnstable County Retirement Board, and he gave a presentation about the system. This is the system for town employees. It was very good, very informative. I know it sounds really boring, but actually the presenter spoke really well and was very knowledgeable and explained things in an easily understandable manner. We had some gift acceptance, resignation. We had a minor snafu with, maybe I shouldn't even call it that. The farmers market, Sustainable Nantucket came in for the farmers market, farmers and artisans market street and sidewalk blocking permit for 2012. You know, they've been at Cambridge Street, and a business owner in the nearby area came to
the Starlight.
Yeah, they had I think a valid concern about business being impeded with the market being there. So there was some talk about how that could be mitigated or alleviated at least. It won't be. So the farmers market needs to go somewhere. We had talked a while back when I think the St. Mary's Church Fair was on a Saturday this past summer, and so the market moved to East Chestnut next to the police station. But I think they found that there actually just was not enough room there for all the vendors, and it was kind of cramped and crowded. It didn't really work. So anyway, Sustainable Nantucket was to go back and meet with the Starlight and try to figure out some alternatives.
What's the problem with the Starlight?
Well, they indicated that because they feel that people can't get to them very easily, and the farmers market happens from 7 till 1, I think, and they're not fully there. They're fully there from 9 to 12 or 8 to 12, but they've got to set up and they've got to break down. And the Starlight was saying that people sometimes who are in the area see that the street is blocked, can't get through, so they just say, "I'm not going to go over there."
They're not. Are they open for lunch?
They are. They're open for lunch.
Well, then, with all those people down there, isn't that a good thing?
Well, I guess not from their point of view. And they have, they make, people make their money in the summer around here.
Well, maybe the farmers market shouldn't be serving food either, though.
Well, that's another issue.
Option.
Maybe. Anyway, I didn't really get into thinking about the options. Other people were directed to do that. No. That's going to come back to the board on January 4th.
Got it.
We had some preservation and conservation restrictions, some real estate issues. Oh, town manager gave the fiscal 13 general fund budget recommendation presentation. It was riveting, of course, I would say, based on the audience's response, which was dead silence.
Did you save us some money, Libby?
Well, I was directed to come in with a balanced budget, which I did. There are some things that we are not going to be able to do that we'd like to do that we think would improve town services, but we cannot afford it. And when you cannot afford things, you don't do them.
Right.
So the board will be talking about the budget recommendations the next few Wednesdays. If people are interested, we're having a public hearing on the budget on January 4th as well. It's also up on the website. We talked about a vegetation removal program for Hummock Pond. We talked about the airport procurement matters. We got a progress report from the Article 68 work group. That's the group that has been working on fertilizer use regulations. And I think what happened with them was they gave their report, and I think they're going to come back to the board in January. I can't honestly remember what happened there. So I think they're coming back for, maybe they were going to go to the Board of Health. More to follow on that. The board continued a couple things. They reviewed 2012 annual town meeting warrant articles, and there were a couple that they were sort of ideas that they decided not to do. And they're going to have more discussion next week. We talked about seasonal taxi stands, and they took some action to make some of these taxi stands, well, seasonal, not year-round. Like, for example, the one on Candle Street next to the jewelry store. I think the one in front of Ralph Lauren, maybe. And this isn't a taxi stand, but the courtesy van spaces in front of visitor services. And there were maybe a couple of other places. It'll be on the website what it is.
So people can park, they can be shared.
So you can park there. Not
Taxis
even shared. No, just no more taxi stands in the winter at these particular locations. It'll go back into effect.
A taxi can park anywhere, though.
No, taxi cannot park anywhere.
Oh.
Taxi is supposed to park in the designated stand.
Oh, I see.
So the one next to the club car remains, and I forget what they did about the one down by Straight Wharf.
No, I think they opened that. That one is opening up.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. You see, you already know more than I do. I was multitasking. I probably shouldn't have said that. I was riveted, but I just don't remember because there's too much stuff to remember.
Sure.
My God, how can I be expected to remember everything?
Yeah.
Okay. We also talked about the Community Preservation Committee and its membership. There are a couple of legal opinions that the town has which clarify or make an opinion that the membership of the committees that are designated to be a part of the Community Preservation Committee must be from the membership of that committee. So, for example, the Land Bank. Instead of having a designee who is not a member of the Land Bank Commission, they are supposed to have somebody from the Land Bank Commission. So there was lots of discussion about that. That basically got kind of referred to the board's CPC member, who is Mr. DaCosta, to talk to different people about and come back with a recommendation. The big thing was Wind Turbine Zoning Board of Appeals waiver application discussion / vote. What we talked about here was basically the board was, in order to have a wind turbine ever at the landfill proposed site, we need a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals. That doesn't necessarily mean that the turbine project would happen. It's just one of the steps along the road that would need to be done in order to have a turbine out there. In any event, the board ultimately decided that on January 4th, it is going to vote on whether or not to include an appropriation article at the 2012 annual town meeting for that project. If they vote not to include it, then that project will not go forward at this time. If they vote to include it, then the project will proceed and the funding will be sought at the town meeting. So on January 4th, they're going to be taking that vote, and they asked us to advertise not a public hearing, but put a notice in the paper that that vote is occurring on that day. That's going to be maybe a big crowd. The board.
Oh, I see. Okay. So a big crowd is going to show up.
There's probably going to be a big crowd. Yeah.
Against or?
I would imagine against.
Are there people up in, I mean, is that kind of what it is? It's the Mattakit group of people that don't want to
there may be others, but there are a lot of Mattakit residents that are quite upset about this. And I think that if the town has the opportunity to at least try to educate people a little bit more about turbines. I mean, everybody's looking at Falmouth, and they have had very difficult problems over there. But this is not the same project at all as Falmouth. So we need to at least be able to have a discussion about it, but maybe without the deadline looming of town meeting. So
I see.
More to happen there.
Right.
I went off island yesterday. I had 2 meetings, one with DEP, with the health officer, the DPW director, and our wastewater consultants. We were discussing the possibility of administrative consent orders that could be signed by property owners in the event that their septic systems are failed, and an arrangement could be made to have them put aside a little bit of funding for either a future sewer connection or repairs to a septic system, depending on when sewer might be made available to their properties. Evidently, a very, very similar arrangement was done in Provincetown a year or so ago. And as luck would have it, our attorney is Provincetown's attorney. So we're going to be working on that. This is an issue that came up at a meeting on November 17th with DEP's Mass Estuaries Project officials and their consultant for the Mass Estuaries Project. We were talking about Matticat and the total maximum daily load issue. And if someone's septic has failed, but they put in and they would be required to put in a perhaps very expensive septic system now,
right.
What if sewer comes by within the next 5 years even? They've put out this big capital outlay, and now there's sewer, so they have to abandon this system that they've just put in. Evidently it's worked out well, but we need to talk to Provincetown, and we need to talk to our attorney about it. Yeah. The DEP guys seem to think it has worked out well, but we need to do our own discussions with our counterparts there. So that was a really good meeting, and I'll report out to the board on that at their meeting next week. I also went to monthly Cape Cod managers meeting. It was a packed meeting. Almost every town was there. It was great. I met the new town manager from Falmouth and the new town manager in Chatham, and we had lots of fascinating municipal discussion, as we always do. And okay, so Gino, my e-newsletter is about to come out for December. It's riveting, of course, as usual. You can get it on the town's website. Next week, I didn't even print this out yet, we have a medium meeting, I would call it. We have some different announcements. There's no board meeting on December 28th, FYI, bear that in mind. We're getting a presentation from Worcester Polytechnic Institute students. We have some students that have been doing some projects. This is maybe their 3rd year of coming to Nantucket and doing some different projects. One of them is about energy conservation. So they're going to be giving the board their presentation on their project. Got a bunch of real estate issues. We're having a presentation regarding town debt service from our financial advisor. Our financial advisor is, all towns have a financial advisor, an FA it's called, to help advise on bonding and debt and bond rating, things like that. And we've had, our FA has been around for a long time, since before I ever started working here. She's great. So she's going to give a presentation. The board has a number of items. We're getting an update from the health director regarding Board of Health mandatory sewer connection regulations. There are some existing regulations that require property owners to connect to sewer if and when it becomes available, requires them. It's not optional, right. But we haven't implemented it yet. So he's going to be talking about how and when it's going to be implemented. We're getting an update from the Harbor Plan Implementation Committee. The board will be reviewing the budget recommendations for fiscal 13. We're reviewing open meeting law regulations for remote participation. Probably not that many people care about this, but the open meeting law was revised in July of 2010, effective in July of 2010. And there are some subsequent regulations that have come out about different things. The changes were meant to make government more transparent, blah, blah, blah. And we've really tried to implement all of it. We're not there yet, but we will be. And there are increased posting of information requirements and what you can and can't do via email, stuff like that. One of the items that has come up is, can board members participate in a meeting remotely? Say they're off island, can they call in? Right now you are not allowed to do that. Right now, I take that back. You can call in, but you cannot participate. You can listen only. So there are some new regulations that allow the board to adopt regulations that permit remote participation under certain circumstances.
So they could be on Skype or something?
They could be. But there are some parameters that are outlined in the open meeting law about that. So we're going to be talking about that. Our attorney will be present to help advise. They'll be talking about warrant articles again for 2012. And there were a couple of things that were tabled from last week that they're going to do. Gino, I think that's about it. Are you done with your Christmas shopping? Yeah, ha 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 ha. You know, normally I am done by now and I'm wrapped. Nope, not this year.
Why?
I don't know.
What's going on?
I'm just too busy. There's so many kid activities and things.
Have you got everything picked up?
Well, sort of. I haven't really
Can't wait to see what I'm
actually obtained it yet.
from you.
Oh,
Is
you?
that something nice for me?
Gino, my everlasting gratitude isn't enough. I mean, obviously you get that on a weekly basis.
Spot, but
I'll have something nice for you. Don't you worry.
just some nice chocolate.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what I
You
get
always
from
have
you.
nice chocolates.
Yeah, I'll share with you some of
There
my
you
nice
go.
chocolates.
That's all I need. I don't need much.
No, you know, I'll get you some M&Ms or something. Okay, so anything else? That you're hearing around town that I should know about?
Oh gosh,
Can't think of anything.
just getting through the holidays now.
It's getting colder.
Yeah,
It was really nice and warm.
yeah. That's okay.
I'm afraid
It's so exciting.
things may be changing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a little snow. A little, not a lot. A nice dusting for Christmas.
For Christmas.
Yeah, that would be nice. Okay, thank you very much. See you next time.
I think that I will introduce myself so that you know who I am and what in the world it is you've signed up for. My name is Betsy Williams. I come from Andover, Massachusetts, where I have lived for way too long. And some people have escaped. We never did.